how's it going? I'm just working on a few things outside this afternoon and we are dodging rainstorms. It just keeps storming on us this spring. It's been the craziest weather that I can remember, like the wettest spring ever, which our plants are really, really loving it. But I now understand what it's like when it keeps on raining and you just can't get that much done out in the garden because it gets to be a muddy mess. So this afternoon, Aaron and I are gonna move a couple of benches that Henry Studio sent out, and I'm also gonna plant up these giant, these are like the Classico giant palm pots, I think is what they're called. I have 4 of them, and those are also from Henry Studio, so I wanna get those planted, and then I've gotta do some bug baiting, so I'll show you what kind of stuff I'm using. Like in my vegetable garden, I noticed something's eating my basil. So I'm gonna use some of that bait and kind of take care of a few loose ends around here. So check that out. Isn't that the prettiest pot? And they are huge. Like, so there's my hand. You can see how thick they are and how big they are. I'm not positive what I'm gonna put in each one of these. I think I'm gonna go with something a little bit more shade loving in these pots because we do have the giant elm tree that kind of provides filtered sunlight through this area. And then I've got 2 more on the very far end down there that are full sun, and I've got perfect stuff for those. But these are heavy. I think they weigh like 300 and some pounds a piece. They were a total beast to get unloaded out of the truck. And actually when these containers arrived, it was at the same time that our brick pathway was being put in, and the guys that were here, they had some equipment that could handle like heavy, large objects, and bless their hearts, they came over, they saw us struggling and kind of like sizing these pots up, thinking, how are we gonna lift these and get them onto the ground? So they came over and saved us and helped us unload all of the pieces. So I think that Aaron and I are gonna move the benches quick first, and they're really pretty. They're gonna go in Versailles while Benjamin is napping. We try to get things done that includes the both of us when he's napping quickly. So I'm here in the barn. Here are the legs of the benches. It's called the straight lion bench. We thought they would look really pretty and kind of stately up in the Versailles garden. You brought the truck out.
I did.
That's perfect. I think that'll work the best. Do you know where the tops of the benches are?
They're in here.
Okay. I was getting a little worried there for a second. Uh-huh. And there's the tops.
Think you can handle these?
Covered in burlap. Of course I can handle these. I can do stuff like this in my sleep. Those bench pieces are stout. Oh, look at that pretty pot. Oh, look at the colors. Okay, so we're up in Versailles right now. Let me show you what we're thinking. And this is actually based off of what the previous owners had done in here. They had some benches and we kind of liked the way it looked. It's just taken us 3 years to get to it. So as you're looking at the house, they had placed benches about right here and then one on this side, which was nice. They kind of took up some space, provided some seating, and if I remember right, they had urns up here as well, but I can't quite remember. I'll have to see if we have any footage, but I thought they had a couple out here, like off to the far sides. I'm not sure. You're getting started?
Where do you want them to go?
Well, do you think like right up in here?
Sure.
I think maybe if we place the legs, hopefully we get it pretty close. We don't need to move anything. Are you Vanna White? Got a new perch. I love it.
Really good as these pavers back here now.
You've always loved those pavers.
We need to do brick.
Yeah, well, we'll get there. I know how to do it now.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I love this, you guys. Look at the bench with the boxwoods behind it with all the hostas and the columbine. Oh, it's so pretty. I do need to bring some scissors out here, but just in case you're wondering, thought I would show you. This is the straight lion bench in the color Traviata Gray from Henry. Bench number 2. standing way back so you guys can see, but there they are. So we roughly stepped off how far the bench was from the corner of that container to the bench. Same on this side. It looks like a little bit of an illusion because see the pavers behind kind of go up. I don't know what the deal is. We're not going to have these pavers here hopefully for very much longer. And the land kind of starts to slope down a little bit right here. It's just kind of an odd situation, but I think the benches look really good. Russell, what do you think, buddy? What do you think? Hey. What a good boy. Also, while we're up here, I just want to show you how this garden's coming along. So that's a Supertunia limoncello and the Dark Knight alyssum. I haven't had to water it one time because of all the rain, and it's looking amazing. Okay, one project checked off the list, so let's go back and plant up the containers. This set of containers is ready to roll. I just need to go grab some plants. I did run a drip line, even though I probably won't hook it up this afternoon. It depends on how much time I end up having, but at least I have the capability of getting it all done before the soil went in. So anyway, let's go grab plants. Okay, so I think I figured out the mixture of plants I want in these containers. Again, these get filtered sun, so I can kind of do shade and sun lovers a little bit. I'm probably not going to do like Supertunias because they do the best with full sun all day. But the things I chose I think will be really pretty together. So these are not planted yet, I just kind of stuck them in there. I'm going to use a lemony lace elderberry as my centerpiece. They're super hardy plants, so they'll probably winter over in these containers just perfectly. Then there are some anemones. Look at this. Look at how beautiful that is. Let me get the tag. These are called Fall in Love Sweetly, can take full to part sun. I think these are pretty tough as well. Zone 4 through 8, and they bloom late summer through fall. So I think that this is gonna be a winner for a container anyway. Lots of color, like look at all of these buds. They're also beautiful in cut flower arrangements. Little bonus there. And then we've got Wicked Witch Coleus, which will be new next year. I'm able to trial it this year, see how it does in the garden. And it will get quite large, so that'll be another one that's kind of like a filler plant, kind of like the anemone. And then I've got Diamond Frost Euphorbia, which does well in a lightly shaded area. And then Dichondra Silver Falls. So I've kind of got like all the colors. I've got red and blue and yellow and green, which those are the 4 colors I always make sure to have in every flower bed, pretty much. So I'm gonna grab my slow release plant food really quick, and then I'm just gonna get those planted up. I came out here last night late, like after Benjamin was asleep, and did a bunch of work in the garage, just organized and cleaned it, needed it so bad. Things get really bad in the spring. It turned out so pretty, and it's kind of a random assortment of plants, really, but I really wanted to try something new in terms of a centerpiece, something just unusual. And then the anemones add something so beautiful, and the Diamond Frost, there's the Coleus right there, which this Coleus will fill in this section really quickly, and then the Dichondra, they just like bulk up and it'll be a really dramatic spiller out of the sides. But it looks the same from all the way around. All right, so now we just have the 2 on the far end. So here's what I'm going with in these containers. I'm gonna do a purple fountain grass in the center because I think that it'll do really well. It'll perform really beautifully because these containers get all day sun. And then to surround it, I'm actually using 2 brand new plants for next year that I'm also trialing, and I think they're so gorgeous. This is a new Supertunia. Look at that. It's called Supertunia Sharon. And it's beautiful double with the pink and white striping. I just think it's just such a delicate looking Supertunia. And then these are Superbina Sparkle Amethyst, I think is what they're called. These are huge blooms. Look at those. I'm really excited to see how these do, and I think that these are just beautiful colors together too. So I decided just to keep it to the 2 flowers because I just really want to keep them a little bit separate so I can see how they do together in these containers. So now I'm just going to get them planted. These are all done. What do you guys think of this blend? Don't you think it's just beautiful? So excited. And I have to say while I'm over here that these Stand By Me clematis that we planted last spring are absolutely wonderful. They are wonderful perennials. This is 1 year of growth, you guys. That's it. I was kind of thinking it was going to take them a couple years to fill in this area, and they have just gone for it. Like this right here is all one plant, like this bunch right here. And then these are the orange smoothie daylilies, which are looking really great. So these will actually pick up and start blooming when the clematis are kind of done, which is why I chose to do what I did, because I wanted to have staggered bloom time. And then back in here, you can see the ginger wine 9-bark is doing excellent. It has a little bit to do, a little growing to do to catch up and kind of fill in this area back here. But you can see that it's about ready to bloom. Look at all of those buds. It's just covered and the color's wonderful. And then if we go around the fence here, you can see the orange smoothies stop right here, which that one's a little sad. I might dig that one up and move it, but no, I'm gonna dig this one up and move it back because this is the only pot that I couldn't place properly because I do need to move these 2 plants before I do it. I did run drip tubing though through the pot so I could hook them up when I was all done with that. But I've got the At Last roses back here. Got a little broken branch right there. Look at the color. And underneath them I've got a bunch of teucrium blooming. Look at how beautiful that is. And you can see what it looks like right up next to one of the At Last roses. And these are doing wonderful too, you guys. These were a last spring plant as well. So I've got one in here that I need to clean some of that teucrium out from around it, kind of choking it. Then there's this one and 4 more. I planted them in kind of a hedge back here. And they are super full of buds. And I have to say, one of the only roses that in my garden that doesn't have any aphids on it. So that's saying something right there. So I need to water in these containers and wash my hands. And then there's just one other thing I want to get done. I want to bait in my garden quick, and then I need to scatter some cat repellent in my window boxes because Russell and all the other cats around this neighborhood like to get in the window boxes and look inside of our house. So anyway, that's what I'm doing next. So I'm in the vegetable garden now, and this is some basil I started inside a little while ago. And it's not looking super hot because it's been so wet for the last several days because of all the rain. But look at this. They're clearly being eaten by something. And so I need to bait around them, which I typically don't have any problem with basil. So kind of weird. Got both of my baits right here. This is what I'm using in the garden. This is the bug and slug killer. I've showed this to you before. It is a iron phosphate spinosad is the active in it. And it is for organic gardening, which I like. And I like the fact that it's a bait and not a spray, so I'm not killing any like honeybees that are flying around. It'll just get whatever's crawling around the base of these plants. And it takes care of all the big offenders, like earwigs are a huge one here. We don't have a lot of snails, but we do get slugs occasionally. So anyway, I like this too because let me show you. You can see in there it's kind of a grain instead of a powder. And typically I'll start with diatomaceous earth first because it's kind of a mild insecticide, but you have to continually reapply it once it gets wet. And it's been so wet from all the rain that this grain actually lasts through that quite well. So I feel like it's the best way to go right now. And I haven't had to treat very many other things. In fact, the only thing I have put any bait around in the garden is the cabbage. Let me show you what that looks like. Cabbage is looking pretty good, and with just 2 applications of bait throughout the spring. I did notice, and I think this is when I started putting the bait on. Let's see, I thought I noticed, yeah. See that right there? A little bit of slug damage. That's when I started baiting the plants, and they look amazing now. Isn't that the prettiest thing ever? So pretty. So this is super easy to use. I just open up the cap and shake it around the base of the plants. All right, that should do it. And this is the next one I'm using. This is called Go Away Rabbit, Dog, and Cat Repellent. It's one I've actually not tried, so I'm looking forward to trying this. The active ingredients are cinnamon and thyme oil, so it probably smells pretty good. Yeah, not bad. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. It's not stinky. It's not great, but it's not stinky. And you know, I don't really want to put cat repellent around because I like Russell and I don't really need to repel him for much, but he's trying to get in my window boxes a lot when he wants in, and I don't really want him to wreck my plants. So I am gonna sprinkle a little bit. So here goes. This is the one he tries to get in the most, and then he scratches and claws at the screen. It drives me nuts. All right, Russell, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Here he is now. Hey, Russell, what you doing, buddy? Yeah? Did you sense that I was talking about you? Did you sense it? We need to get you a cat door. That would probably eliminate all of my problems. The only issue with that is that it would welcome all the other neighbor cats into our house, and I don't really want to do that either. All right, I got all of the window boxes treated. I will let you guys know how this works. It'd be great if it works really, really well. I'm assuming I'm gonna have to reapply it every once in a while. Hold on. Okay, so it doesn't say how often I'm supposed to apply it, but I'm guessing I just keep reapplying it pretty heavy for the first little bit to at least create a strong aversion, and then it'll probably last longer in between times. So anyway, yeah, that is it for today's video. I think that's all I have time for. I do have to go water some things in the greenhouse, but then I want to go in and hang out with Benjamin. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.